Welcome everybody to something a little bit different. Well, first off, we're in a Vault Hunters single player world that I'm gonna hopefully start recording. That's the goal right now. I have like an episode done or something, but I wanted to run some of these vaults while talking about this stuff. I want to talk about everything that's been happening over like the past week, and just what the future holds for Final Life, Clock Life, like all that stuff. So that's the main thing I want to do right now. So I'm gonna actually let's just go run the vault. All right, well I'm ready now, so let's just go. Okay, cool. So we're in the vault. Let's just go ahead and start talking. I have 7 parts to this. If I end up coming up with more as I go on, then that's how it'll be. But okay, the first part I want to talk about is just Final Life right now. Mainly about how like Starved Life is right now, or what's the plan. So, as it might be known now, Final Life will officially be done after Starved Life here. And I personally think this is for the better. I announced a while ago that I was gonna be done with Final Life as a whole. I'm kind of just tired of it in general. There's a lot of stuff that does kind of happen in Final Life that is mainly behind the scenes, but that's not really the main thing. I think everyone is like extremely burnt out right now with life stuff, and I'll get into that later because it does affect everything else too. But everyone's starting to get tired. I've kind of felt tired for a little while now. So that's why I ended up announcing I was going to be done. I didn't know that everyone else was going to also say that they were done. But that's kind of just how it went. I think what kind of led to the decision was I said I was done, Reddish said he was done, and then other people started talking. Like Blake mentioned he was done, and then randomly, I think it was yesterday, it was like Blake, Colin, and LG all decided that they were done, like all in unison too. They're done after the season, well, except Blake, because Blake's kind of dead already, but that they'd be done after this season. And as that started happening, more and more people were like, okay, this is gonna be our final season and stuff like that. And I think I kind of noticed that we were gonna stop when I created like a little small list of people that even just like mentioned they were done, and it was like half of our mod team. So it was like me, JDF, Reddish. It was like me, JDF, Reddish, Bryce. Cake also mentioned it too. So it was like, okay, well if Cake's gone, then what are we gonna do? Because I'm gonna be for real, I really mainly trust Cake with the data packs and stuff. I don't really know how I would feel about a data pack not made by Cake for a Final Life thing. And that's why I am glad that Aegis finally decided, or finally just ended up saying, okay, it's gonna be done. Because I really didn't want to see it just like die out and go out in a really bad way. This wasn't like any coordinated mass walkout or anything. It was just more of everyone's getting ready, and it was all kind of at once too that everyone decided that they were done. Like this past weekend was insane just because of how many people were like, yeah, we're done, I don't feel like doing this anymore. So yeah, so Final Life will be done after the 6th season. The Starved Life is still going to go on. I don't know with uploading what's going to happen with some people. I know Bryce said he's done. LG, as far as I know, isn't like uploading. Colin's still doing his movie thing, but that's about it. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But Starved Life is still going to go on. We are still going to continue it, and we're going to make sure that it goes out properly how it should. Okay, so that was the first part. This is still about Final Life, this second one. So the second one I have is about just behind the scenes stuff for Final Life. Things have been kind of tough, if you want to call it like that. There's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that majority of the time gets covered up, but there are times where it does like leak into things. I think one of the first things that I remember happening was when Simon decided that he was going to leave Final Life, and then he wanted to come back, but it was voted on that it would be no, that he wouldn't come back, just mainly for our sake in the server, because there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we thought was happening because, not so much because of Simon, but like we felt that a lot of arguments were happening and they semi-revolved around him. This has definitely changed over time. Like, Simon is, like, I'm chill with Simon. I've gotten to know a little bit more about him, just mainly like running Clock Life with him. So yeah, so like the Simon stuff that ended up happening, that was kind of decided after Eternal Life. But the thing is that he knew he was leaving after Starve Life. He told me a few times, he's like, I'm, depending on how it goes, I'm probably just gonna end up leaving. When he final died, he left, and then he left fully and he was done. We voted on it, all that stuff happened. We thought Simon and Deluxe were like the main ones that were causing everything. So we thought, okay, how about this? We're gonna try a season without both of them, and we want to see how it goes. So that was that. But building up to Starve Life, it was so horrible, dude. We couldn't come up with a twist at all. There was one twist that we had in mind. We had this idea for a team life thing that Gala kind of created, and it was like you would, I think it was, you randomly got like a team of 5 and you shared lives too. So it was like, let's say you have a team of 5, you have 20 lives, so each person has like 4 lives. And that was like the main twist that we were like, okay, we'll probably end up doing this. But what happened is just so many people started going against it, and we were just like, okay, we won't do it just because not enough people are agreeing with it. But then what happened is nobody was like agreeing on anything. When our seasons end, we, at least before Starve Life, we didn't do anything. I'm gonna be for real. Like, and I think this is something that I noticed too. When we went from Second Life to Linked Life, we had a full month to do stuff, and we were struggling last minute to put everything together because we didn't have a seed. There was a few other things that I remember happening. It was like we didn't have a seed, we weren't coordinated, we didn't know what we were doing. And then on the actual day, it was like the world wasn't put onto the right seed. People weren't there, some of the stuff wasn't working. So we started like an hour late for Linked Life. The thing is that I'm a mod for Final Life, and I don't want to say that I'm a big contributor, but I know I am, at least, because we have a mod team full of 10 people, but it really is like 4 or 5 of us that do a lot of stuff, because the other 5, like, they do help, but it's not to the degree that we really need them to. And I told Aegis that we needed to repurpose the mod team because it was really dragging us down. And I was trying, like, I will be real, I was trying to get a few of the people off it just because I knew that there was people that would help, and one of those was Bryce. I knew Bryce would help, and damn, dude, literally the moment he got in, so much was different. He took over a lot of stuff, and I really hope that him starting to take over a lot more for Final Life didn't cause him to like be overworked and stuff, because that would suck if having to run Final Life was the reason he felt overstressed with everything. Because I know that he mentioned it a little bit to me about how he started doing like everything, dude, because it turned into me and Aegis, and then it was kind of just Bryce at that point, because I, for some reason, decided to start slowing down with helping. Bryce definitely helped a lot going into Starve Life, because he became a mod like a few weeks going into it. But yeah, no, so Bryce helped a lot. Right now, I think mod team wise, it has been, we have tried going through a little bit and trying to like work things out, like who should do what. So like one of the things we kind of did is like, okay, JDF will do refunds, Reddish will do like vampire stuff, and Reddish didn't get to do vampire stuff for session 4 because he kind of missed it a little bit, so I didn't. But we're still trying to work things out, make sure we have everything we need, and it has gone better. It has definitely gotten a lot better. But at this point, it doesn't matter anymore because Final Life's done. As the season went on, session 1 I slept, and I'll get into it later, but I really do feel bad for Ice because I really think we ran him out of this community. Session 2, a lot of other stuff happened behind the scenes, and we kind of thought it would be best to kick Nathan, so that happened. Session 3, Blake final died, and so I like to say that like he technically left, if you want to call it like that, because he is done now. So it was kind of like we lost someone each session, which really did suck. Okay, so the third part here, and this kind of trickles in with Final Life. When Final Life decided that they were done yesterday, I think a lot of servers started like, oh shit, we might be done. One of the main concerns for me, at least, was Clock Life. Clock Life, for as long as I've been in here, has been very, very good to me. And honestly, when I said I was going to leave Final Life, I was leaving Final Life so that way I could focus on Clock Life. And I started putting more of my focus in the Clock Life. Just because I started helping, like, my role technically is like head of social is what it's labeled, but I'm also helping with like the content stuff. This, of course, is my side of everything from what I'm seeing. I don't know who would clarify things, but I wanted to talk because everyone's talking about like what they're gonna do next, like what their plans are, but I want to talk about what is happening and why everything is happening. And then we have the candidate mini round, and that stuff normally gets good. The candidate mini round we had for season 3 for Time Life was, in my opinion, definitely better than the mini round we had for season 4, but I still like both of the players, or like all the players from the anyways. People have already, because of everything that's happening, people are now being like, okay, it's time, I'm moving away from stuff. Like, just for an example, Blake is done. Blake is done with everything. He's done with Final Life. He's continuing Bootleg, from what I know. He's continuing Bootleg, but he's done with Clock Life too. So like, he was a mod, but he's stepping down, or he's leaving, so he is no longer a mod. So like Blake's done. Colin's done. He said he was done. Bryce is gonna play, but he's not recording. But we also are trying to just see how this 4th season goes, because everything now is like dying off. Like, Final Life's done. Bootleg, from what I know, and I'll get into Bootleg in a little bit. Bootleg is supposedly, from what I've heard, is possibly moving away from, because Wildlife's been very interesting for Bootleg. Just because I'm not, I'll just get into this real quick. I'm not in Bootleg, but I have subbed for the past 2 sessions for, I subbed for Colin session 1, and then I subbed for Mao session 2. Both sessions were very interesting because it is very laggy to play in, and this has been a complaint with everyone, but it's been extremely laggy. There's been a lot of, from what I've heard, it also feels like a mini round a little bit because of the upkilling mechanic for it. I'm gonna just say it now real quick. I'm probably done subbing. I know LG was gonna like miss this 3rd session, and I kind of mentioned I was done, so he didn't ask me. I might do one more session if someone else needs it, but if not, then I'll probably stop, because I'm also gonna be real too, and this goes in with the whole burnout thing. Everyone's tired, dude, and like, just for example, and I think this also made me realize it, I played from 11 o'clock my time to like 9 a.m. Or to 9 p.m. at night, because I had Bootleg for 2 hours. I had Final Life literally immediately after for another 2 hours, and then I had the candidate mini round that I had to be at because I was a mod, and that was like another 4 hours. I'm not gonna cover a whole lot because it isn't really my thing to talk about on like Final Life and Clock Life, but I still just want to talk about it a little bit because I am still kind of there. That's Bootleg. I'll leave Bootleg at that. If anyone else from Bootleg wants to talk about it, they can. Okay, so back to Clock Life. Season 4 will happen. Season 4 will happen. We have the twist. It is pretty fun. It is a pretty fun twist. So season 4 will for sure happen. As for season 5, everything's up in the air, dude. We don't know, because we have an idea for season 5 if we can make it to a 5th season. We have an idea. I'm not gonna say a lot of it because, again, like, it could still happen and I don't want to spoil it. So yeah, so we don't really know what will happen for a 5th season. With me leaving Final Life again, I will be focusing a lot more on Clock Life and just making sure that that's perfect. So yeah, so that's kind of Clock Life here. And actually, this is good because I wanted to be like halfway done with what I wanted to talk about while being done with the vault. I'm gonna empty this stuff out of my shulker real quick. Because I'm running these vaults for my episode 2, but I'm gonna empty this stuff out so I can go through it, and then I will come back so that we can keep talking. Oh, how do I start this? Dude, the past 2 weeks have been so horrible. I think like private and public sides of stuff it's just been, it has felt a little toxic in my opinion, and I think I fully noticed this with Ice. Ice decided after session 1 that he was gonna leave Final Life he was gonna leave season 6. He was gonna take a break because he wanted to just experience his summer, which I get fully because I also want to. With Ice, he said he was done. He knew he was done, so he left. He was like, I'd come back later for season 7. And then Pride Month happened. And he said, he talked about how he didn't really want to be around the community during Pride Month because he didn't want it to completely overtake like him or the server. Yeah, so he was kind of vocal about it. He was talking about how he wasn't going to be here because he didn't want to be around it as it was happening. So immediately everyone started just like, or he left, he wasn't going to hear anything. And as soon as he left, there was a lot of shit talk about him, about his like what he's doing, about like being homophobic and stuff, and he couldn't fully defend himself. But what sucked is that this happened and it kept going on. It kept getting brought up like every single day. It was, someone brought it up before. Actually, it might have been me. I'm gonna be for real. I think I might have brought it up. I know Gala brought it up once, but it just got to the point where I was like, okay, we need to stop talking about it because it was very bad. Just like with us, it was. So yeah, so Ice left. People were talking about him, just about him being like homophobic and stuff, and they didn't understand how he couldn't just like ignore it. But I do kind of agree with Ice. Not insane. Like I do think his points are valid. But I think, and there was also talk like, well, he could have said it a better way. I don't know really how he could have said it a better way. He just kind of said it, and it was kind of how it was, but it was poorly received. And I really think that, I don't know if he ever found out about it. I'm hoping he did, because, well, I'm hoping he did just so he knew what was happening. But ultimately, a few days ago, he decided he was just done with the community. He sent a big old video to the private side of Final Life, and he talked about how he was officially done. He was going to leave the community for good. He was going to delete his account in a few days. As far as I know, his account is deleted. And he just talked about a few of the members, just about like giving them encouragement. One of the things he talked about was to stop milking the life series. And I really think that this might have started this idea like, okay, we got to stop now. But Ice decided that he was done. We said our final goodbyes, if you want to say it like that. And then that was it. And he, as far as I know, has been gone. And we found out like on Friday that he was leaving. But we didn't want to say anything until he said his account was deleted, or until we knew his account was deleted, or on Sunday. And we did it yesterday. So, well, because yesterday was Sunday for me. So that's when we did it. So Ice was gone. We run into this problem now of everyone's done. So that's that. I don't know who else is planning to leave or what's gonna happen, but I guess I don't want to say like prepare for the worst, but just prepare for stuff to go down, I guess, because as each day has passed since Ice has left, a lot, like more and more stuff happens. Like the first day he left, it wasn't a lot. The second day he left, it was like, we're kind of getting done with life stuff. And then yesterday it was like, dude, we're done. Everyone's done. So yeah, I guess the main point of this was also like what's next for the community as a whole. So I'll go over so I mentioned it before. Bootleg is talking about possibly switching from life series, which I think would be perfect. I joked around with Invalid about how he should switch it to like Bootleg Vault Hunters. Final Life's done. Final Life is gonna be fully done. Aegis does plan to do something after Final Life that he's actually planned for a while now, and I was supposed to help him with it, but I left yesterday because I'm not necessarily fully fond of how some things are run, and I really didn't feel like trying to help run another life thing. So that's Final Life. Clock Life, like I said, is gonna stay for now. As for what will happen going forward after season 4, we'll have to figure out once the season ends. But now that we are beginning to fade away from life stuff, we have things like Chaotic Life. Chaotic Life is actually pretty cool. I'm helping with that. It's like an 100-player Civilization series, kind of, but it's like limited life. So Chaotic Life is something. Another thing that's happening now is a lot more SMPs. So, for example, JDF and Blake created something called Life Vacation, and I actually am in that, but my computer doesn't want to let me play the server, which is why I actually started this freaking solo world because of it. So that's happening. I'm hoping I can get it fixed like today. So yeah, so that's kind of what's next for the community. I don't know what will happen with like mini rounds and stuff, because mini rounds will probably still happen, I would assume. Just not with a lot of the older people, because again, everyone's starting to slow down. But mini rounds should still happen. And that's kind of, yeah, again, just like the state of what's happening with the state of the life, like this thing is called, is the state of the life. Because again, I'm just trying to go over what's happening. And then the final thing I want to talk about, which is kind of like what everyone has been talking about, which is like what's happening with me. So I do plan, because some people are like stopping, or like they're gonna move away from life stuff. I am gonna move away from life stuff, but after I've already done everything I've committed to. So like Starve Life, I've already committed to. I will finish that through. This series that I'm doing right now for Vault Hunters is something that I've kind of wanted to do for a little bit. I did start a different one before, and then I kind of just stopped it. But I'm hoping to pick this up again. Life Vacation, if I can play it, then I really want to do stuff there. But that's kind of, ow, hold up. Clock Life, I'm not too sure, because so Colin's not making content because he's not there. Bryce is there, but he's not making content. Blake's gone. JDF, I'm not too sure about what his plans are for like content, but there's still a lot of different people who are uploading, so there'll still be a lot of different POVs for this. So I am just kind of debating about if I want to upload Clock Life. I probably will, just because I'm so close to the 3,000 watch hours. I'm like close by like 700 away. So I am so close. Like I try to say, like I'm close. So I might, but I think once I hit my 3,000 watch hours, I will probably stop, unless if the series that I'm in are done, are fully complete. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for what I'll do. I plan to stay in the community. I don't plan to leave the community. So yeah, but that's kind of like what's next for me here. This is actually kind of working perfectly, because this vault is actually like gonna be done pretty soon. So yeah, so I tried not to drag this out a ton, because again, it's different, because I wanted to talk about the state of everything right now, and not just me, like how everyone else kind of has, or like what I'm gonna do going forward. I wanted to talk just about how everything is right now. So I want to talk about that. But the vault's over. I'm gonna go find a pedestal, or I'm gonna go find the little like lodestone things that I need. And then I'll wrap this up here, because I do also still have a episode that I'm recording. So that's really it. That's really all I wanted to talk about. So I thank you for, I don't know how long this episode will be. I just want to say thank you for everything that this community has done for me and for my life. And I just wanted to be real with everyone and just talk a little bit. So yeah, boom, vault complete. That's gonna do it. I hope you enjoyed, and peace.